Hello learners, in this lecture we will see how much water is actually required for the hydration. So whenever we feel thirsty, we also take water, right? So this water will help us to quench our thirst. In the same way, every time we have been seeing the reaction that whenever cement reacts with the water, it is going to form so and so reaction. That means every time there is a requirement of a water, but exactly we don't know how much amount of water is required. Whenever we get thirsty, even we don't know how much water is required. So there should be a optimum content of water that is required, so that the complete hydration is going to happen. Let us say if the water that is required for the hydration, we are providing a less amount of water, then what is going to happen? Then the complete hydration is not going to happen. And if the complete hydration is not going to happen, that means all my cement particles are not going to get wet, and as a result of that, whatever strength I'm supposed to get, that will not be achieved. In the same way, let us say I'm adding more water. So if I'm adding more water, what will be happening? What would be happening? The water which is not used by the cement particles will remain there only. So what will happen? Due to the increase in the temperature and all, the evaporation is going to happen. Again, there will be excess water. Again, that will create the voids in the concrete or voids in the cement. So that is why we need to understand what is our optimum quantity of water that is required. So we'll try to see that. So it has been found through a lot of research and all that for the C3S, that is for tricalcium silicate, around 24% of water is required. In the same way, dicalcium silicate require around 21% of water, tricalcium aluminate require around 40% of water, and tetracalcium aluminate ferrite require around 37% of water, right? So with this understanding, we'll try to understand that. That means, give me a minute. Yeah. So it has been estimated that C3S and C2S on average they require 23% of water by weight of a cement is required for the chemical reaction. That means, let us say I have 100 gram of cement, and if I take 23% of that by weight, that means around 23 gram of water is required for the hydration. So this 23% of water chemically combines with the cement, that is whatever cement particles we have, with that it will try to react, and therefore this water, what it is required, no, it is called as bound water. But whatever I'm telling is 23%, this is theoretically, but practically it may be something different. So we need to understand here, this is very important. But a certain amount, a certain quantity of water is entrapped within the gel pores. This water is known as gel water, right? So actually what happens, this 23% is theoretically required, but gel water of about 15% by weight of cement is required. Therefore a total of 23 plus 15, that comes out to be 38% of water by weight is required for the complete hydration. So why this 15% extra we are trying to add? We'll try to see that. So why that 15% extra is coming? So if you understand that, yeah, yeah. So this extra 15% water is provided to cater the loss due to the voids, capillaries, interlayer and evaporation. That is whenever you try, let us say you require 23% of water. So whenever you add 23% of water into the cement, let us say this is a container and these are the cement particles, okay? Yeah, these are the cement particles. So whenever you try to add water into that, it's not that exactly 23% of the water will be taken up by the cement. Few of the water will go into the voids. We'll be having a voids in between the cement particle. There the water will be wasted. Even into the capillaries, the water will be gone. In the interlayer, the water will be gone. And also due to evaporation, the water will be lost, right? But actually, whatever amount of water is required, we need to provide. So that is why what we take, we consider this 15% of the water will be going in all these activities, and the net water what is available is 23%, and that is actually taken by this particular cement. So if less water is used, then what is going to happen? The complete hydration is not possible, as the volume available is insufficient to accommodate all the products of the hydration. Hence what is going to happen? The strength of the concrete will be reduced, right? And if more than 38% of water is used, let us say you're using more than 38% of water, then excess water will cause undesirable capillary cavities. It will create voids in the concrete, and concrete becomes porous, and it reduces the strength of the concrete. In the same way, let us say whenever I'm hungry or whenever I am thirsty, if I try to drink water in the optimum range, then I'll be okay. Let us say I'm trying to drink more and more water. At one stage, I also feel like I'm drinking more and more water and there will be discomfort in the body, right? In the same way, whenever we try to add water into the cement, the same thing is going to happen, and as a result of that, all these things are going to happen. So as an engineer, I know that if I'm adding more water, this will create a problem. If I'm adding less water, this will create a problem. So I should add water in such a way that it is optimum in nature. Yeah. So with this understanding, we'll try to go forward. See, we need to understand this as well. So if you try to understand this in a more uh, better way, this how it looks. These are my cement particles. You can see the black dot, these are the unhydrated part of cement particle, and this one whatever you have, no, this part, this is the hydrated part of cement particle. So whenever my water cement ratio is less than 0.38, then what is going to happen? Incomplete hydration is going to happen, because the amount of water that is required is less and the cement particles are more. So few of the cement particles will remain unhydrated. So what is going to happen? Incomplete hydration is going to happen. As a result of that, whatever strength I'm supposed to get, that strength I'm not going to achieve. Now coming to this, that is if water cement ratio is exactly 0.38. So in this, what is going to happen? The complete hydration is going to happen. So you can see you don't have any unhydrated part of cement particle, even though you have, it's a very small amount what you have, and it's okay. So here this is a complete hydration and this is what we require. Now coming to this, whenever the water cement ratio is more than 0.38, what is going to happen? Excess capillary cavities are going to happen. That means you can see here, these are the cavities what we have, because we are adding more and more water, right? So what will happen? That will make this as a capillary cavity, and as a result of that, what is going to happen? Whatever excess water later, it will try to evaporate and it will try to create a voids in the cement or in the concrete. So that is why always try to add water in the optimum range, and that optimum range what we require is 0.38, let us say 38%, right? Yeah. So I hope these things are understood up to here. In the next lecture, we'll try to see what all are the different types of tests that we can conduct on cement, and we'll try to understand this in a more better way. So we'll see you back in the next lecture. Thank you.